श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविरावीर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणीस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधितेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Dispassion is not running away from the world, and therefore it is not an action. It is a happening, and therefore here the topic that we are talking about the Vyutthana, dispassion, does not fall in the purview of instruction by the scriptures. It happens. Like there is an instruction. You should get up early in the morning, finish your bath and do the Sandhya Vandanam. This is an instruction. Now when one comes to know the truth, all these activities automatically drop. So, Vyutthana or the Vairagya is not in the purview of the scriptural injunction. Therefore, if somebody says that atahana garhyasya eva akurvataha asan utpanna vidyasya edena guru shushusha tapasaha api aprajapattihi vidushaha siddha. So, if one is able to get this wisdom and wants to continue in the Grihastha ashram, what is wrong in that? Now the teacher takes up this point, page 798. Atra kechit grihastha bhikshatanadi bhayad paribhavacha trasyamanaha sukshma drishtita darshayantaha uttaram ahu. There are some grihasthas, the householders, people, they have actually fear in their heart. What fear? Bhikshatanadi bhayat. Oh, to go from one house to another and take bhiksha, I can't imagine. I will never tolerate that. See, I was in New Zealand and we went to some shop for getting something to eat because we are going for a long drive, about 3 hours. So we will eat there itself and come back. So you don't get vegetarian food. So I thought, we'll buy some this thepla or something from our Indian store. There was one Indian store. So when we went to buy the things, I selected, and then that man owner, he did namaskar. He said, no, Swamiji, I cannot take money from you. This is from my side. Please accept and oblige me. Oh, I said, thank you very much. Had he told me this, I would have collected more things. Anyway, thank you very much. And we left. And when we were taking food, that time casually this mention was made. That this thing that we got, they did not accept the money. Immediately the one of the boys who was with me, he was eating and he said, I can't eat. I don't want to eat anything which is as bhiksha. See how much it is to eat bhiksha is not everybody's bite. So they have got a fear inside. So, kechit grihastha bhikshatanadi bhayat that they will have to move here and there. And paribhavacha trasyamanaha, and tired because of the insult, because of the disrespect that they may gather from the world when you go for bhiksha. See, it is not necessary that you get bhiksha all the time with all respect. No. Sometimes you are called for bhiksha and they conveniently forget. And then after that you go back without anything in your stomach, and yet you have to have the same equanimity. So, paribhavacha trasyamanaha sukshma drishtitam darshayantaha. And they try to show the greatness and the great vision of their life. Uttaram ahuhu, they say. What they say? Bhikshoho api bhikshatanadi niyama darshanat देहधारण मात्राथिनो गृहस्थस्य अपि साध्य साधना एषणो भय विनिर्मुक्तस्य देहमात्र धारणार्थम अशनाच्छादन मात्रम उपजीवितो गृह एव अस्तु आसन्नम इति. They say, just like there is a rule for the bhikshu, the one who is a vidwan sannyasi and who is not a grihastha, for them there is a rule. What is that? Bhikshatanadi niyama. That they have got understanding or allowance by the scriptures. That those who are engaged only in the truth and those who are not married, those who are not grihastha, they are permitted to go from house to house and ask for begging, bhiksha. It is allowed. So, bhikshatanadi niyam darshanat. Now, for whom deha dharana matrarthinaha, they are taking food only for survival. They have nothing to achieve or nothing to lose in this world. So, deha dharana matrarthina. Then, such people, if he is a grihastha, grihasthasya api, and if somebody is a grihastha who simply wants to maintain his body, and sadhya sadhana eshana ubhaya vinirmuktasya, and then he has given up both the aspects. Sadhya is the welfare of the children, etc., or the attainment of swarga after death, or going to the pitraloka after death. That is the sadhya. And what is the sadhana? Sadhana is the karma and upasana. So a grihastha who has no more longing to go to heaven or the pitralok, and therefore he is neither doing karma nor upasana. If such a person, grihastha, who is simply wanting to maintain the body. Now see what is the description? It looks very great. But what it means is, he is exclusively, distinctly lazy, wants to do nothing. That is not the right thing. If somebody is a grihastha, he has the three kinds of runas to be cleared. He has no choice that he simply go and eat the food and I don't want anything in this world, only want to maintain my body. No. So, deha dharana matrachino grihasthasyapi sadhya sadhana eshana ubhaya vidirmuktasya. If this is what we are imagining, then deha matra dharanartham ashana chadana matram upajivitaha. So he is living only for living in the body and wants to have some shelter. So ashana, then achadana matra, so that he can live. Upajivitaha. Gruhe eva astu asanam. Then let him stay in the house. Why should he go from one house to another for bhiksha? Now who are telling this thing? Those grihasthas, those who claim that they are having no eshana, no desire. And if they have no desire, no eshanas, and they have to simply maintain the body alive, so why should they go for bhiksha from one house to another house? The same bhiksha is available at home also. And therefore, the Grihasthas should be allowed to stay in the house and follow the sannyas dharma. This is the meaning. Now, the teacher says, no, it is not right. No. Swagruha vishesha parigraha niyamasya kama prayuktatvad iti uttaram etat. You know why these grihasthas are not wanting to leave the house and go? Because swagruha vishesha parigraha niyamasya. Because he is so much attached to his own children, own property, and only at the surface level showing that he is no more concerned about anybody, only concerned about his own eating. So when you are taking food at home from the people, you cannot remain without desires. This is something like this, There was a Babaji, and he was telling, see how, even you may be in the ochre robe, still you are attached to the homes. And what is the meaning of attachment? This I will explain you through this story that I am going to tell you. There was a person, he was moving in the town. Is there a graveyard? Is there a graveyard? I want to stay there. So one grihastha, a great Mahatma, he said, yes, come and stay. Because house is nothing but a graveyard. So he started staying with that grihastha. And one day it so happened, when everybody was sleeping, this Babaji is not getting sleep. That night, a thief entered. And Babaji was just observing, as if he is sleeping. He did not fight anything. How can a Babaji fight? So he is keeping quiet. And after he corrected everything and went out, slowly, the Babaji followed him. And found out where he has hidden that treasure that he has stolen. And after that, the thief left. Next day morning, the thief has come and taken everything has happened. Then this Babaji said, come, I'll tell you where he has hidden that. So, he took that grihastha and showed, it is here he has stolen and kept your wealth. Then the grihastha said, now tell, whether the grave was real or the dead body was real. If you consider yourself to be a dead body, a sannyasi is a dead body. If you consider yourself to be a dead body, then how you are attached where the wealth was taken by the thief? Because you are staying in the house, you are bound to be attached to the things and the people in this world. This is self-deception. That is why it is said, na swagruha vishesha parigraha niyamasya kama pariyuktatvat. Why we are having this kind of rule imposed on ourselves? If a grihastha has realized the truth, and then why should he leave? He should stay in the house and look after the grandchildren. No. It is because kama prayuktatvat, because there are still desires in his mind. Only he is deceiving himself that he doesn't have desire. Then swagruha vishesha parigraha abhavecha, and if there is swagruha vishesha parigraha abhava, and if there is total absence of any attachment to anything with reference to your earlier house, and sharira dharana matra prayukta, and only you want to maintain the body alive, then ashana chadanarthinaha, and those who are wanting to have the food, etc., and a shelter, swa parigraha vishesha abhave, arthat bhikshukatvam. And then, because they will have no parigraha, they will be not attached to anything, then they are already bhikshu. Therefore, one should not mistake and deceive oneself that in the midst of everything is only the attitude has to be changed. No. We are deceiving ourselves. I remember, once I went in this Vivekananda Kendra school in Tafragaon or beyond that somewhere. That was my first visit. And I imagined that I can manage any food. And there the menu for the 3 meals, the breakfast, lunch and dinner used to be khichdi, 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 nothing else. No vegetable, no achar, no papad, no chilies, no nothing. And I was thinking, my God. Of course, afterwards they started giving me something special. But this notion we have, that I can manage without anything as long as everything is available. And when things are not available, then the truth is revealed to us. Therefore, this should not be mistaken. Now, Sharira Dharanarthayam Bhikshatanadi Pravruttau Yatha Niyamo Bhikshoho Shauchadaucha Tatha Gruhinaha Api Vidushaha Akaminaha Tu Nitya Karmaso Niyamena Pravrutti Yavat Jivadi Shruti Niyuktatvat Pratyavaya Pariharaya Iti Etan Niyoga Avishayatvena Vidushaha Pratyuktam Ashakya Niyojatvacha Iti. Now here another topic is taken regarding the same thing. Like for the bhikshu, Yatha Bhikshoho, for the bhikshu, for the maintenance of his body and the life, there is a niyam, there is instruction in the scripture that he should go for bhiksha from house to house, keep himself clean and do his sadhana, etc. In the same manner, gruhina vidushaha akaminaha. A grihastha who is wise and he who doesn't have any desires, for him also nitya karmasu niyamena pravrittihi. For them also the scripture tells that they should do the nitya karma every day. And yavat jivadi shruti niyuktatvad. And yavat jivam agnihotram charet. As long as you are alive, you should continue the agnihotra, the karma kanda. If you do not do that, then pratyavaya dosh will happen. The sin of omission is called as pratyavaya dosh. When you do something, you will not get anything. But if you don't do something, you will get a punishment. Like, if you go to the office on time, it's okay, that is your duty. If you don't go to the office on time, you will get punishment. So this is called as the sin of omission, pratyavaya dosh. And in this manner, if the scripture is telling that the grihastha who is vidwan and without any desire, he also is engaged in various kinds of activities such as nitya karma, etc. So the teacher says, etad niyoga avishayatvena vidushaha pratyuktam ashakya niyojatvacha iti. But we have already told you earlier that this knowledge of the self does not fall in the purview of the scriptural injunction. To understand this, I take a very simple day-to-day example. If you are not driving a car, and if you don't want to drive a car, nobody can compel you to follow the traffic rules. In the same manner, when you are fully engaged only about the self, then there cannot be any injunctions imposed on us regarding this or that. So, even this Yavat Jived Agnihotram Acharet, this also does not apply to this man who is walking the spiritual path. This is to be clearly understood. Now, the Purva Paksha asks a question. Yavat Jivadi Nitya Chodananartham Chodana Anarthakyam iti chet. In that case, what is said in the scripture, in the Purva Mimamsa, that Yavat Jivadi, as long as you are alive, this Agnihotram, that means all your Nitya Karma, Naimitya Karma should be practiced. So this chodana, this prompting, this instruction from the scripture, anarthakyam iti, then do you think that what is said by the scripture is meaningless? Iti chet, if this is what we object, the teacher says, no, not. Why? Avidvad vishayatve na anarthatvat. Because one should engage in karma kanda is for the one who is taking himself to be body. Very, very important. That is why, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyakta atma shuddhaye. The yogis engage themselves for the karma, not for getting anything from this world, but for the atma shuddhaye, for the purification. Now what is the purification? I am not the body. This is the purification at the level of the jiva. Then I am the jiva embodied in this body, and then this jiva will start doing yoga and devotion. And he will then like to go to the higher world, etc. But when you go one step further, then you inquire, who is this jiva? And when the jiva is inquired, then you enter the third area called as the Upanishad, where we come to know there is nothing like jiva existing, but it is the one reality which is expressing as many. Therefore, the meaning of liberation is different from state to stage. It is not the same. Therefore, avidvad vishayatve narthatvatvat. Therefore, this is the topic meant for those people who are living as the body and don't want to change beyond that. They are very happy with it. There are some people, this is called as tushti bhava. Tushti bhava means they are content so much in their life that even the spiritual practice they are not ready to go ahead. The other day one person met me, a sannyasi. He said, Swamiji, my Guruji told me to study Vedanta. I tried. My mind doesn't go there. Then he told me that you study then Vyakaran. I tried Vyakaran, but that doesn't. Then he told me that okay, you do Seva in the ashram. Now see, those who are unable to study Vedanta Shastra, they are so much buried in the body identification that they do not want to get out of it. And then they find fulfillment only in doing karma. So first of all, doing karma for one's own selfishness is considered as bondage. But doing karma for other is considered as freedom. But they don't want freedom from karma. See? That is why this clutch or the bondage or the pasha, the tie-up with the karma is so subtle that one way or the other it ties you down. Therefore, avidvad vishayatvena arthavatvat, because it is meant for the avidwan, ignorant. Therefore, this is meaningful. Yattu bhikshoho sharira dharana matra pravrittasya pravrittehe niyatvatvam tad pravrittehe na prayojakam. And yattu bhikshoho sharira dharana matra pravrittasya. Now the bhikshu, the wise man engaged exclusively in the contemplation of the self and nothing else in this world, for such a person, pravrittehe niyatatvam pravrittehe na prayojakam. So, he is engaged in collecting the alms and eating. It is not with any prayojan. It is not for attaining anything other than maintaining the life. Please understand. When I take food, for what? So that I can do work. Then the purpose of taking food is karma. Why do you want to take food? So that I can live. You don't want to do anything? No. Why? I don't want anything in this world. Then why do you eat food? Because the body has to be maintained. It is made out of food, so the body is given food. That's it. Therefore, the pravrutti, the involvement of the bhikshu for getting the bhiksha does not have any other prayojan. He is eating for the sake of eating. It is unlike achamana pravrittasya pipasa apagamatvad na anya prayojanartham avagamyate. Like, somebody says, excuse me, I like to just go and gargle. And while gurgling, he can drink also. So, he is telling that he just want to do the gurgling, but the prayojan, what is the purpose? Purpose is he wants to drink water also. In this manner, pravritti and prayojan, what for you do something is prayojan, and what you do is pravritti. So, this bhiksha, which is asked by the Vidwan, the seeker of truth, to the exclusion of everything in this world, their pravritti of asking bhiksha does not have prayojan belonging to this world or other world. Prayojan belonging to this world is called as in the area of karma. And prayojan belonging to the other world is called as upasana. So, this Vidwan, walking the path of inquiry and self-realization, he has nothing to get out of this world, nor out of the upasana world, out of the devatas. I want to propitiate Surya so that I can see everything. No. Like, if you remember in our Patanjali Yoga Darshan, these sutras come in Vibhuti Pad. Surya Sayyamaha Chaturudasha Bhuvana Jnanam. When you do the Sayyama on the Surya, then you get the knowledge of all the different worlds. Therefore, in the life histories of many great Mahatmas, particularly walking the path of Siddha Marga, there they talk about that when I was sitting, I went to the Indralok, and in the Indralok I was invited, and Indra came himself and all that, and I was worshipped like God. Now this is definitely an experience. In this experience, the Jiva Bhava is still maintained, because going and coming is still there. So I went to the Indraloka and came back. Then I went to the Varuna Loka and came back. See? So this is not the absolute immortality. It is the relative immortality in comparison to the life of the mortals. Therefore, here the pravritti involvement of the bhikshu for asking for the alms does not have any purpose. But contrary to this, na cha agnihotrādīnām tadartha prapta pravritti niyatatva upapattihi. But those who are doing the agnihotra and all kinds of karma, they cannot be said that the karma are done only for the sake of karma. Why? If you do not do, you get pratyavaya dosh. So for the removal of the pratyavaya dosh, you are doing this daily karma, nitya karma. And therefore, this nitya karma and upasana is not the svabhava. It is done with a purpose in our mind. And friends, please remember, wherever purpose is associated in life, we have accepted ourselves to be limited. See? There is no purpose for the flower to emit the fragrance. That is svabhava. There is no purpose for the ikshudanda, the sugar cane, to give sweetness to others. No, that is its nature. And therefore, when the sugar cane gives sugar, there is no merit. And when the snake gives poison, there is no sin. That is their svabhava. So wherever there is prayojana, wherever there is purpose associated with anything, you are in relativity. In the absolute, there is no purpose. Now see an example. the river waters also runs, and the ocean also runs. Ocean is not steady. Both are waters. Now what is the difference? The river water has a prayojan, purpose, to reach the destination called as the ocean. And the ocean also moves a lot. What is the prayojan? There is no prayojan. Then it is an expression of the ecstasy and not to attain something. Because the ocean is infinite, but the river is a finite. Therefore, this bhikshu who has vairagya naturally because of the understanding wisdom, that he has gone beyond the mortals and the devata lok. Mortals is living as body, devata living as jiva. He who has transcended these two, for him there is no prayojan because he is already merging in the absolute. Now, again a question is asked. Artha prapti pravrutti niyamaha api prayojana abhave anupapannam eva iti chet. So, if there is prayojana abhava, if there is no purpose to be attained, artha prapta pravrutti niyamaha api prayojana abhave anupapannaha, then this is, artha prapti is, whatever is naturally happening to us, it is meaningless. What is naturally happening? The dispassion in the heart of the seeker of truth and the truth alone. So, there the rule that this Vidwan should go for the bhiksha, this is also meaningless. Because you said there is no prayojan, then why should he go? So the teacher says, no, it is not like that. Because tan niyamam asya or tan niyamasya purva pravrutti siddhatvat tad atikrame yatna gauravat. Because this rule which is associated with the bhikshu, this is purva pravrutti, means it is natural. Eating food is not a desire. See? When you are hungry, hunger is not a desire. After you are hungry, then you want a particular type of food, and if you don't get a particular type of food, then you become angry. That is desire. See? Therefore, purva pravrutti. So, tan niyamasya purva pravrutti siddhatvat atikrame, and if you want to transcend even the hunger, yatna gauravat, then one has to have tremendous effort that you will conquer even the hunger, etc. And artha praptasya vitthanasya, and the one who has the natural dispassion. So, artha praptasya vitthanasya punaha vachanad vidushaha kartavyatva upapattihi. And then, those who have got this natural dispassion, for them it is said vithya yatha bhikshacharyam charanti ityadi. So again it is said only to indicate that bhiksha begging is officially okayed only for the wise seekers of truth and not the grahasthas who are living with the desires around them and imagining that with the karma also bhiksha can be got. No, it is not possible. Then avidushapi mumukshuna parivrajyam kartavyameva. And if somebody is mumukshu is sincerely seeking the truth and nothing else, not the temporary liberation from the body or from the problems of the body, but liberation from the I, the jiva bhava. He is called as mumukshu. So avidushapi, but he doesn't know anything. But he has got this tremendous sincere longing to know the absolute. Now for such a person also, parivrajyam kartavyam eva. Therefore, this brahmachari diksha, which is given, this brahmachari diksha is called as vividisha sannyas. Vividisha sannyas means the sannyas which is meant for knowing the truth. This is not a sannyas because there is nothing else to do, take a sannyas. No. And then the sannyas that we get is called a vidvat sannyas. So there are two stages. People call brahmachari, but that is also a sannyas only. So, for the avidushapi mumukshuna parivrajyam kartavyameva, because it is said, what? Tathacha shanto dantaha ityadi vachanam pramanam. Because it is said in the Upanishad that the one who is shanta, danta, whose mind is quiet, who has got sufficient control on his senses, and he who is able to go through the difficulties of life, and he is completely withdrawn from the objective world, although he has neither studied the scriptures nor he knows anything, yet such a person can enter the sannyasa marga. See. Because after getting into sannyasa marga, then he will engage himself in the study of scriptures. That is called as the vividisha sannyas. So shama damadinam cha atma darshana sadhananam anyashrameshu anupapattehe. Because without this shama dama, which is necessary for the realization of the truth, is not possible in any other ashram except in the sannyas ashram. So, sadhananam anyashrameshu anupapattehe. Then, atyashramibhya paramam pavitram provacha samyak grushi sangajustam iti cha shvetashvatare vijnayate. So, when he is quoting from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, then it comes that the mantra drashta rishis indicated or revealed this truth to those Mahatmas who were Paramahamsa, that means those who have taken sannyasa, and only to the sannyasis only, that means those who have mumuksha and those who have got vitthana, total dispassion, to them the truth was revealed by the mantra drashta rishis, the rishis who have revealed the truth. Iti shvetashvatare vijnayate, thus is indicated, told in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. So also in the Kaivalya Upanishad we come. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashu iti che Kaivalya shrutihi. So in Kaivalya Upanishad is said that by karma, action, praja, the progeny, and wealth, none of these are capable of revealing the absolute. But there are some few of them who have attained the absolute, but not on the strength of karma, praja or dhana, the activity or the progeny or the wealth. See, wealth and karma belongs to the dehatma bhavi, and praja belongs to the jivatma bhavi. Why people are so mad after having a son? Because when you have son and when you die, then only that son will do the shraddha karma, and then only you will get the admission in the Pitruloka or the heavens. If you don't, then you will be moving in this world like a vagabond, like a ghost. Now for whom? Those who consider themselves to be the jiva. But once you are transcended this jivatma bhava, then this both karma and upasana becomes redundant. That is very important. Therefore, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashuhu iti cha kaivalya shrutihi. Jnatva naishkarmyam acharet iti cha smrutehe. Brahmacharma pade vaset iti cha brahmacharyadi vidya sadhananam cha sakalyena atyashrameshu upapattehe garaste asambhavat. And after having said this, in other smriti also it is said that after having attained the knowledge, jnatva naishkarmyam acharet, one is naturally inclined to withdraw from the total world. Therefore, sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. the nearer you go to the absolute being, there is a natural withdrawal from the worldly activities. And if the worldly activities are still tormenting your mind, you are nowhere near the truth. So, naishkarmyam acharet. And therefore, it is very necessary that those who really want to hold on to the truth should not start any kind of undertakings in this world. Hold on to the truth. Look at Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. You know, if we take this world as an illusion, how can there be any achievement or failure in this world? If we consider ourselves to be beyond the Jiva Bhava, then where is the Papa Punya Dharma Dharma? That is what Nachiket will tell us. Anyatra dharmad, anyatra dharmad, anyatra asmat kruta krutat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha yat tat pashyasi tadvada. Tell me that what is beyond dharma, dharma, cause, effect. And that is how he wants to know beyond the Jiva Bhava. So, Brahma Shrama Pade Vaseta. Therefore, it is said that Brahma Shrama Pada is the sannyasa ashram. So, one should take to sannyas. Because Brahmacharyadi Vidya Sadhananam cha Sakallena Atyashramishu Upapattehe. Because what is the sadhana for the attainment of the truth? Brahmacharyadi Vidya Sadhana. So we follow the yama, niyama and the study of the scriptures, meditation, etc. is possible sakallena atyashramishu. Is completely, fully possible only for those who are in the sannyasa ashram and garhasthe asambhavat. But those who are engaged in the grahasthi, for them this is not possible. See, dehanyaso hi sannyasaha naiva kashaya vasasa. Don't forget Shankaracharya Maharaj in our sadachar. Otherwise, even after getting sannyasa, one gets entangled in the institutionalization and everything is lost. Whether you run a house with a wife and half a dozen children, or you run a ashram without a wife but many people around, and without your children but many disciples around, there is no difference between a grahastha and a sannyasi. Very clear. Because then for them there is no possibility of contemplation. All the time worried, thinking only about how to run, and in running that they start running. They can't sit in one place. See? So, Sakallena atyashramushu upapattehe garhaste asambhavat. Nacha asampannam sadhanam kasyachid arthasya sadhanalayam. How beautiful. He said, asampannam sadhanam cha kasyachid arthasya no sadhanalayam. Whenever you do anything half-heartedly, you achieve nothing in life. Very true. Whatever has to be done in complete involvement. If you remember in our Gita class, I have been telling again and again, one of the most effective spiritual practice is this. When you are eating, enjoy every bite. When you are walking, walk fully. When you are reading the newspaper, read completely. When you are sleeping, sleep completely. But what happens? Our training is such that when we are reading, that time our mind is running somewhere. When we are taking food, then we want to read something. You must have many people, while taking food, they keep on reading. So they are training their mind to be not cooperative anywhere. Now after such a mind is trained, then they sit for meditation. Now the mind knows, acha, meditation you are sitting, then I have to think about something else other than meditation. See? This is what Bhagavan says here. Asampannam sadhanam, half-hearted involvement. Sampanna sadhanam is complete involvement. So half-hearted involvement, kasyachid arthasya sadhanalayam na bhavati. You will attain nothing if you do anything half-heartedly. Better don't do it rather than doing anything half-heartedly. You know, those who are not able to understand or those who are not able to concentrate, what is the reason? This faculty. You observe in your own life. Then you will learn it from yourself, not by my telling. What is that? Whenever you are reading, if you are not understanding, the only reason is your mind is not cooperating with you because it is running here and there. Now with such a mind, again you force, you are wasting your time. Then what to do? Stop studying. Then sleep or go for a walk. And when the mind is ready to cooperate, then bring it. So this is for the ignorant people's technique. But the wise people have complete control over their mind. When they apply the mind for a job, the mind has to cooperate. There is no choice given to the mind. Therefore, nacha asampanna sadhanam kasyachid arthasya sadhanalayam yad vidvanopayogini cha garhyastha shrama karmani tesham parama phalam upasamhrutam devatapya lakshanam samsara vishayameva. See? Yad vidvana upayogini cha and garhyasthya ashrama karmani tesham parama phala upasamhrutam. So, that which can be perfectly done for the grihastha and what is that? It is the upasana. So, parama phala upasamhrutam. So, garhastha those who are working on the path of relative existence, that the body oriented or the jiva oriented, for them parama phalam, what is their ultimate? Their ultimate is either going to Pitruloka or going to the heaven. That means they want to maintain their jiva bhava. I remember I have a very good friend and very elderly person and a great Purush Mahatma, and he talks about the different lives like we talk about yesterday, day for yesterday. Yesterday it was Friday, day for yesterday it was Thursday, and Thursday evening, I went to somebody's house for Viksha. How we talk casually? Like that he talks about this life. And in the last life I was in Medaghat, and before that life I was in Dehradun, and before that I was in a house and where I lived only for 12 years, then my body died. And before that I was a parrot. He told about his life so clearly. Then he asked me, I'll tell yours. I said, I don't want to know. Why? I said, I don't accept it. See? When I am talking about Jiva Bhava, what I will talk, how I will talk. Please understand this. As a child, I was born in Banaras. There I lived for some years. Then, I went to Himalayas. There I went in some ashram and stayed. I did my sadhana. And then from there I went to the south for my paribhramana. So, as a child I was in Banaras. Then as a brahmachari I was in Himalayas. So these are individual halts in my life. But I am a continuous one. Now, this I, who was one time a brahmachari, one time a sadhaka, one time a parivrajaka, who is this I? Be very attentive. Who is this I? Is this I the jiva? If this I is considered as the jiva, So what it will mean? It will mean I have to now evolve. That I should become more purified. Then how I become purified? I should not live for the selfishness, not for my own sake. So, I should do the karma for the sake of the world. Nishkama karma. But karma I must do. Karma I don't want to live. Because body identification, they host me. After that is done, what will happen? When you do karma without any personal desire, your mind will become pure. Means what? Means you may start suspecting that you are not the body, but you are the embodied, the jiva. And when you start taking that you are the jiva, then the next step comes. What is the use of being the jiva? Now you have a higher potentiality to grow beyond the mortals. Then there are 7 lokas, bhur, bhur, swaha, mahajana, tapa, satyam. And then you go to those lokas and become like Agni or the Indra or the Varuna or the Vayu or the Ashtavasus. Subtle life, different levels of existence. For that, what I have to do? You have to do various types of karma, upasana, Indraya svaha idanna mama, Varunaya svaha idanna mama. By that, what will happen? I will go to the heavens. Good. How long will you stay in heavens? Kshirne punya martyalokam vishanti. When all the merit that I have acquired through karma as a mortal, when all those merits have bestowed me with the higher life, but when those merits are exhausted, again I am pushed back to the body identification level. And how long is going to continue? Then the question comes, who is this jiva we talk about? And when the inquiry about the jiva is kindled in your heart, the jiva bhava does not attract you even 1%. So, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, this cannot attract the mind if we have the courage to probe and dissect what the jiva is. This is what here it is said. यद विद्वानोपयोगिनी च गार्हस्थाश्रम कर्माणि तेषां फलम उपसंहृतम देवताप्यय लक्षणम संसार विषयम एव. So going to the different heavens or the higher worlds is nothing but the samsara alone. See, whether you live in India or migrate from India to other country, you are going to be the same sufferer. No change is going to come in you. Because yadi karminaha eva paramatma vijnanam abhavishyat samsara vishayasya eva phalasya upasamharo no papatyata. Therefore, if these people who are engaged in the karma, please remember, karma is done only when kartrutva abhiman is. Kartrutva abhiman is possible when you are identified with your body and with your activity. Therefore, if the karmi, the one who is engaged in karma, if he is able to know the absolute reality, the self, then in that case the world will never be dissolved. See? So, samsara vishayasya iva phalasya upasamharaha na upapatsyata. There will be no time when this world will disappear and there will be something like, realization is also there and duality is also there. He will give example. It will be something like, I am seeing the rope as well as the snake. When I am ignorant, then I see it as a snake. Then I am afraid and then I cry and then I get the medicine and then I become all right. But when suddenly I know, no, it was not a snake, probably it was a rope. And then I see that same thing as a rope, I am happy. But again after some time I feel, no, it is a snake. This can never happen. Now, continuing further, Anga phalam taditi chetna. If it is said that Karmi is getting this Svarga, etc., it is a secondary effect. And the real one is the realization. So the teacher says, no, it is not, because tad virodhi atma vastu vishayatvan atma vidyayaha. Atma vidya talks about the absolute, and this upasana and karma talks about the duality. Therefore, tad virodhi atma vastu vishayatvan atma vidyayaha. Therefore, these two things, through karma and upasana going to the absolute, is impossible. Through karma and upasana, you remain in the samsara alone. It is something like, many people, to get rid of the miseries of their life, they go from one country to another country. Many people are migrating to UK, New Zealand and Australia. And what they are doing there? Same frustration which was here. Frustration is not changing, because they don't want to change. So unless we change that I am the body notion, unless we change that I am the jiva notion, there is no freedom from the relativity. Whether you remain in this place or that place, whether this time or that time, it will continue incessantly. Therefore, it is not angaphalam, it is not secondary, it is the one where you are getting caught. Nirakruta sarvanam rupa karma paramartha atma vastu vishayam jnanam amritatva sadhanam. Therefore, when we take up what is the paramatma sadhanam? Nirakruta sarva nama rupa karma. Where there is a total negation of the name, the form, the activity, the attainment, the failure, when everything is rejected, and paramartha atma vastu vishayam jnanam, and come to recognize one's absolute self, that is called as atma vishayam jnanam, amrutatva sadhanam. That alone will attain immortality and not by any other means. Therefore, as I told you, immortality for the I am the body notion holder is living a long life. Immortality for those who are living as jiva, for them is becoming longer life than the mortals. But the real immortality is recognizing the immortal self as one's own being. This is what is said here, the amrutatva sadhanam. And it is not the relative one, but it is the absolute one. So, guna phala sambandhehi nirakruta sarva vishesha atma vastu vishayatvam jnanasya na prapnoti. So, guna phala sambandhehi, if there is association of the karma and the karma phala, then nirakruta sarva vishesha atma vishayatva jnanam na prapnoti. Because the knowledge of the self is not the result of karma or the karma phala. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.